Hello everybody, it's Gloria from Gigi the Crochet Queen. Welcome back to my channel. This will just be a short video on how I did the granny square stitch on the ruffle hat that I recently made. I received a comment on my YouTube channel from Loveth A Day Bowell. I'm probably saying it wrong, but she had asked how to do the granny square stitch on her ruffle hat. I'm not sure if this is exactly what she was looking for, but this is what I came up with. So I'm just using some Big Twist cream colored yarn. This is acrylic yarn, 4 medium weight, and I'm using my eye hook, my clover eye hook. Love my clover hooks. So I want to start with a magic circle, or you can do a chain 4 and slip stitch to join, but I prefer the magic circle. It's a lot easier for me to work. And chain 3 and do 2 double crochets into your magic circle. And this is just on how I do the granny square part of it. I'm not doing the entire ruffle hat. So after you do your 2 additional double crochets, because your chain 3 counts as a double crochet, you chain 1 and do 3 double crochets in the magic ring, magic circle. And that's 3. Chain 1, do 3 more double crochets into the magic ring. Chain 1, and you can pull that tail to close it up some, and do 3 more double crochets. And then you chain 1 and slip stitch to join. Now you want to take your tail and pull that circle close. And you chain 3, and then you go into that chain 1 space, the last chain 1 space, and do 2 double crochets. Chain 1 and do 3 double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, 3. And go into your next chain 1 space and do a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and these are the corners that you are making for your granny square. And just repeat that around until you get to your chain 3, and you slip stitch to join on that chain 3. And I will meet you at the end of this round. I am at the end. I have my 4 corners. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you don't do your granny square this way, just do your granny square however you do it. But this is the way that I do my granny square. You want to chain 3, you slip stitch to join in the top of the chain 3, and again go back into that previous space and do 2 double crochets. Now you're at a corner. you want to do a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets into that chain 1 space. Chain 1 and 3 more double crochets. Now you have a space between your corners, so in that space you just want to do a cluster of 3 double crochets. Now you're back to another corner and you do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets to make that corner. And now you're back to another space between your corners, and you want to do a cluster of 3 double crochets in that space. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're back to another corner, and again that is 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space to make a corner. And now you're back to another space between your corners, 3 double crochets, cluster in that space. And we're at our last corner. So you want to do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets to make that corner. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. And then you want to slip stitch to join the top of your chain 3. And this is what you should have. I'm going to pull my tail again to close up my hole. So you have 1, 2, 3 rounds. So you want to chain 3, and you want to work the same pattern until you have a total of 6 rounds. And I will meet you at the end of round 6 of your granny square. I am at the end of round 6 of slip stitch to join in the top of the chain 3, and I'm going to fasten off just to start with a contrasting color. Is that right? Contrasting. Anywho, start with another color so that you can see the difference, that the change that will happen. So this is the square that you should have, and this should fit an average size head. So if you need a smaller one, make a smaller square, bigger one, make a bigger square. So now I am going to use this rust colored yarn because it's a little darker, and you'll see the change. So I'm just going to go back into where I would be going. I'm going to attach. I should have done a slip knot, but sometimes I don't like doing slip knots because I don't like knots personally, but I do this way. But you can do a slip knot and then just attach your yarn. And you want to chain 3 and do 2 double crochets in that space. And this is a big twist yarn as well. And it's the rust color. It's a really pretty color. I love the color. Now you just want to do double crochets into the spaces. 3 double crochets in each space. Go to your next space, cluster up 3 double crochets. And 3 double crochets into the next space. Three double crochets into the next space. Now we're at a corner. So instead of making a corner, you just want to do 3 double crochets into that corner. 2 and 3. Then move over to the next space and do your 3 double crochets. And if I'm crocheting, which I don't crochet that fast, but some people, I've seen things like slow down. This is just, giving you some basic instructions on how to do this granny square. Not per se a tutorial on how to do a granny square. Well, it's kind of sort of, but I just want to show you how I make this granny square to do that ruffle hat that I did. And hopefully Loveth will see this and it'll give her some inspiration. But if this is not what she was looking for, you can always do like 4 granny squares. Actually 5. You do 4, put them together, and then do a 5th one for the top of the hat and connect them all together, and then you can go from there. But I thought this was an easier way to do it than I'm having to put grannies together. So now we're back at another corner, and I'm just going to do a cluster of 3 double crochets in the corner. And then I'll move on to the next space and do 3 double crochets in each space until you get to your next corner. So just repeat the same thing around until you get to your chain 3, and I'll meet you at the end of round 7. Okay, I'm at the end, this last corner, and you just want to do 3 double crochet cluster in that corner. And slip stitch to join at the top of your chain 3. And this is what you should have. So you should be going downward. And again, chain 3 and do 2 double crochets into that space. And 3 double crochets into the next space. And you just follow around 3 double crochets into each space until you get to your chain 3, slip stitch to join in the chain 3, and do a chain 3, 2 double crochets, and continue the pattern. You want to do this pattern until you have a total of 6 rounds. So from the start to the end of this pattern, you should have a total of 12. So this first part is 6, and then you want to do 6 more rounds in this, or not 6 more, well, a total of 6. So even if you're just using one color, it's the same thing. You want to do a total of a granny square of 6 rounds, and then 6 rounds of your cluster of double crochets around. And I will meet you when you have your 6 rounds of just clusters of double crochets. So again, you're just doing clusters of double crochets in each space until you get to your chain 3. Slip stitch to join in the chain 3, the top of the chain 3. Then you want to chain 3 and do 2 double crochets into that previous space, and then do 3 double crochets in each space around. And that will give you the body of your hat. I will meet you when I have my 6 rounds. Okay, so I have finished my 6 rounds of double crochet clusters, and you want to slip stitch to join at the top of that chain 3. Now this is just going to be a single crochet border around. So this is what the top of your hat would look like, and that is the middle of it. So this is what it looks like. So the top and the middle. So now we just want to do a round of single crochets. So we slip stitch to join and chain 1, do a single crochet into that same space, and a single crochet in each stitch around until you get to the end, get to the end of the round. And then you want to slip stitch into your first single crochet, and then you can start your excuse me, your ruffle stitches. And the ruffles are, you want to chain 3 and do 2 double crochets into that same space, and then 3 double crochets in each stitch around. And for my ruffles, I do a total of 3 rounds with 3 double crochets in each stitch around to make them full. I've seen some people that say they do 5 rounds, but 3 rounds is good for me. So I'm going to do this single round of crochet, do a round of single crochets, and then I will come back. So I have finished my round of single crochets, and I want to slip stitch to join in the top of that first single crochet, chain 3, and then you can start your ruffles. So do 2 double crochets into that same space, Your chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and 3 double crochets into your next stitch and every stitch around. And you just want to repeat that process until you have 3 rounds of ruffles. So that is the end of this tutorial, and I hope that it will be helpful if you want to do a granny ruffle crochet hat. And I hope Miss Loveth will see this, and hopefully it will be something that she was looking for. But if not, as I told her, there are a lot of videos on YouTube that have granny square bucket hats, and you can always, instead of doing the making the bucket part of it, you can just change it and do ruffles. So until my next video or my next live, I thank you for watching. Stay safe. Keep crocheting. Bye-bye.